Okay, here I am, the last shot of the day. Sabercat 150 nosler ballistic tip, 2576. And we were shooting for 2544 to give 100-yard velocity. And our block did a good jump. Okay. Figure out which end is which on this block now. I need to start putting marks on them. Wound cavity. Four inches. By about 10. And I'm 99% sure that the block flipped. Yeah, I know I had it sitting like that. So you can see the wound cavity there too. It's very nice. And it basically looks like it starts at 1 inch. And I can see the bullet. So we'll just get a measurement on that. Okay. There we are there. Come over. And we can see the main portion of the bullet right there, which is at 20 3/4 with the edge of it here. And then we have some lead there, and there's a few shrapnel there. So the 100-yard velocity gives us basically 21 inches of penetration with the main jacket, and the core in there is at about 22 inches. So 21 and 22 inches with the of the penetration. Excellent wound cavity. All in all, I like the performance of the nosler ballistic tip. I would not be scared to shoot that at out to 300 yards, and maybe a little farther. We'll see next time I'll test it out a little farther. But we got very good wound cavity, and I'm gonna open up both blocks now so I can find the bullet from the last shot, and then we can see the wound cavities on both. Okay, here is the 100-yard block. You can see the green tip in it right away. You can see right at 1 inch, and it started expanding. You can see more shrapnel in the block down in the wound cavity, but you can see how large that wound cavity is. Goes all the way through and just does damage. Again, that's from the 150. We have more jacket there. Right there. And here's the recovered bullet from the last shot. This is the 100-yard. And you can see those. Okay, this was the second shot for the Sabercat. Supposed to be 2,350 yards for 200 yards. And we have 2377, so almost perfect. So this was 200 yards on the 150 nosler ballistic tip. Okay. You can see the block here. We got good cavitation. Looks like 3 1/4 inches. It starts right away. I mean within an inch. And starts within an inch and goes all the way. You can see where the bullet entered the second block, and it looks like it was breaking up. We got a little lead piece there, jacket, more there, more there. You can see it split the block out. See the cavitation a little bit better. 3 inches that way. And carrying right on through. It looks like we have a little bit of jacket here. I don't see the main portion of the bullet yet. And we see fragments. Okay, I'll look for the main bullet and get our penetration, but you can see the fragments range between 4 and 7 inches, 8 inches, 4 to 8 inches into the second block. And these are both 16, so we're at 20 inches here to 24 inches there. Okay, I just cut that block open, and you can see that the main jacket of it went to just about 12 inches into the block, but it did get into the wound cavity. This block here, this cavity here, is from the last shot, which would have been the Burger in the 277 Wolverine. You can see the wound cavity on that one. And you can see the shrapnel here from the Sabercat round, the 150 at 200 yards. And some more of the shrapnel here. These are all from the Sabercat. This was the wound cavity for the Burger. Going into entrance was here. Entrance was here to there. But actually, I'll bet you that's the Burger jacket. So that makes more sense now. I didn't recover a lot of the Burger bullet. So I would say the Burger bullet was 12 inches of penetration on the jacket, and then it splintered off from there. And I'll have to cut this block open. I think I see a big chunk of the bullet for the 150 NBT right here. So I'm going to call this the Burger 200. I'm going to call the jacket at, as I said, 12 inches penetration, and that's when it started splitting out, and it dumped all its energy right there. It basically exploded similar to a grenade. And you can see the entrance of the shrapnel. Entrance from the shrapnel from the 150. And there's no other entrance wounds on this block, so I bet you that piece that I see that's right around here, again, it's probably going to be at the 12 to 14 inches of the main portion of the 150 NBT will be the body. Again, and that was at 200 yard velocity. And so then the other bullet was the 200 yard, and it was shot in from this way. We have shrapnel here in the wound cavity, and you can see more lead and more shrapnel there. Again, that was the 200 yard one. But that's the permanent wound cavity there. More shrapnel there. I still haven't found the bullet for the 200 yard. I got to do a little more digging, but that gives you an idea of the wound cavities of them. Again, this here was the 200 yard. This was the 100 yard. And overall, excellent. I really think that's a very good bullet. And then next week we'll try one of the Hornadays. Okay, that was shot number 1, 30 Sabercat, 150 nosler ballistic tip. I was trying to match 300 yard velocity. It should have been 2160. We're 2223. That'll make it like 250 or so yards, but the heat's warmed the rounds up and changed the velocity. So, but we were shooting for 2160. So. Block bounce, looks like we knocked a chunk off the block. Entrance wound here. We have a very good wound channel. It started expanding right away. We got a wound channel like so. And exits here, and you can see by the block distortion, it's still creating a good wound channel with the block distortion there. And ended our block here. And there we see a piece of the jacket there. Looks like we have core separation, and we have a piece of the lead here. Looks a little small. And there's a piece of the jacket there. We have a piece of the jacket at 3 3/4 inches, and the lead that's into the second block, and the lead was at 9 3/4 inches, and the rest of the jacket looks to be at 7 1/2 inches into the first block. And as you can see, the blocks are 13 3/4 inches. So we got 13 3/4. Plus the 3 3/4 makes it 6, 7 1/2, 17 1/2 inches on the jacket. 20 3/4 plus a half to be 21 1/4 on the jacket, other part of the jacket. And then add 2 more inches, so on the lead is 23 1/4 inches penetration. Again, that was to simulate 300 yards. Okay, this is the slow velocity wound channel from the 150, the 300 yard NBT, and the 30 Sabercat. piece of the jacket there. You can see the green tips up here.